This Smash Bros thing is actually pretty easy. I got my side B tech down to a science, any of Mithra's aerials combo into itself, my smash attacks kill it. And who the hell are you?
Hello, I'm Joker from Persona 5.
Okay, Joker from Persona 5, I bet you won't even stand a chance. Alright, time for my game plan. If I space enough aerials, he'll be conditioned to jump, then I can do the good old side B footstool. He'll have nothing else to do. What in the...
What's going on, everybody? Team Gaming here. I'm Kaz.
I'm Jeremy.
And today we're going to be doing why comeback mechanics in Smash suck. So before we get right into it, make sure to quickly sub, like, comment. Go use code TeamGaming at SmashSoap.com. Now we're going to get right into it. Go.
Today we'll be going over comeback mechanics and why they really aren't the best. But what exactly is a comeback mechanic? A comeback mechanic allows a player to make a rebound when they take a certain amount of damage or when they are in another state of disadvantage. Typically, they are activated once a gauge is filled or when a character takes a high amount of damage, hit with a strong move, something of those sorts. An example would be Joker. He has a bar and once it's filled, he unlocks Arsene. This makes Joker's attacks stronger and gives them other properties as well. He has to take damage in order to use this, or he has to wait a really long time for it to fill automatically. So, when it comes down to it, Joker can play carelessly in the beginning of the game, and at the end of the day, he'll just be rewarded with Arsene anyway. This is the reason why some people dislike comeback mechanics. It seems like a way too easy method for a player to escape disadvantage. In comparison, Steve has to mine in order to get diamond weapons. Although this is a really good reward, it's something that he usually has to work up to until the end of the game. Now let's begin going over our main points, and seeing what makes comeback mechanics bad. They're all timestamped in the description for your convenience. Without further ado, let's get started.
One argument made against comeback mechanics is that they reward players who struggle more in competitive play, and are carried by said mechanic. In some scenarios, the better player will just lose because their opponent is rewarded, well, for losing. For example, a character like Terry has a very strong way to easily make a comeback when he reaches 100% and he gets his Go meter. Then he can do Buster Wolf and Power Geyser. With Go, he can take stocks at 0 with a 0 to death combo, or a combo that sets up into a strong edge guard or ledge trap. And Terry has really good edge guarding and ledge trapping all around. Terry is also a character who favors trade hits. Since he can kill you early, and he's a heavy fighter compared to other fighters, mashing buttons with Terry is very effective, making low-level players close the skill gap. If Terry had to earn his comeback mechanic in a different way, he would be harder to play than how it currently is. No offense, Terry players. The skill gap is definitely dropped when designed in the way that it is. Skill cap is definitely dropped when designed this way. The problem with his comeback mechanic specifically is that Terry's will ensure they get to 100%, and against characters that have little to no kill options, Terry with Go is a nightmare. This is a prime example of how a comeback mechanic alone can turn an opponent's advantage to disadvantage, and even end the game very quickly. Cloud can also take the advantage with an ability when things aren't looking too hot. When his gauge fills, he will unlock Limit. Limit in Smash 4 was more intimidating. He could wait forever before using it. This might not sound like much, but Cloud being able to throw out a Limit move whenever he pleased as long as his meter was filled was definitely very strong. Now he can only use it in the first 15 seconds he has it. But Cloud can still get a kill or a free recovery in the use. There also confirms he can perform to kill a player at 50. Cloud players will always have something in their back pocket after getting knocked around. Additionally, Limit can even be increased by charging it, allowing Cloud to control the flow of his abilities and when he can use them. This allows him to line up his Limit in spots where he'll need it the most and prepare for losses ahead of time.
There are characters who don't need their comeback mechanics for sure, but there are also characters who heavily rely on their comeback abilities to win. A huge example of this is Lucario. Lucario without his aura is considered to be one of the worst characters in the game. He struggles to kill, has trouble doing a lot of damage, and overall just can't do well in neutral. There's no way that Lucario will ever J4 someone. Lucario in the first half of his stock is a punching bag, and then he can begin to play a decent game. This is the reason Lucario is inconsistent. His comeback ability relies on if he can hold his stock long enough to use aura to its full. Only at later percents can Lucario start killing opponents at a normal kill percent and do decent damage. Players that play Lucario always have to trade their disadvantage state for their ability. Without it, he's almost useless. Little Mac, infamous for being the worst character in the game, also has his built-in comeback system. The KO punch is obviously used as a third leg to carry Mac. Mac is light, needs to play up close, and he has very bad aerial options. and instead of making him stronger, his comeback ability was added. But throughout the progression of Smash Ultimate updates and players improving, now Little Mac doesn't necessarily need it to win, but without it he would definitely be the worst character in the game if not already. Because of his poor recovery, Little Mac usually loses his stock early by getting hit off stage, then being edgeguarded. This could usually happen as early as 0. In turn, Mac gets KO punch. Granted, Mac's opponent can still camp him out or play more defensively. All it takes is a down tilt and KO punch at 15% and it can turn the game around.
Making comebacks against a character with very good comeback ability can be an extremely hard thing to do, and sometimes can be near impossible to pull off. Imagine a scenario where you're playing against some character with a comeback mechanic and you are losing. Even if your opponent doesn't have the ability yet, it will still be difficult to come back from whatever disadvantage you're in. And then, suddenly, your opponent gets their ability. Whether it be Terry reaching 100%, Joker getting Arsene, Wario's Waff is fully charged, it makes your chances of defeating your opponent worlds smaller. Scenarios like these are what makes these characters so dangerous. Even when in disadvantage and slowly evening you and your opponent's stocks, you can fall into quicksand and lose to a mechanic designed for your opponent to make a comeback. Can you imagine Joker with Arsene up 2 stocks against Sheik? The whole play here is that Sheik is going to have to stretch for kills, all while playing super defensively and avoiding any of Joker's moves that can kill Sheik early, like a back air at 60. For Sheik this is nearly impossible, and for Joker, what was a stock lead and advantage turned into a guaranteed win. Time is also important in this scenario, as Sheik can play as defensively and slowly as she wants, Joker will just get Arsene more and more. The Joker can play slow and control the flow of time. It all comes down to Joker killing with Arsene at the end of the game. These arguments are very scenario heavy, and whether they are directed at a character who needs the comeback mechanic or a character that doesn't, there are always countless scenarios where a character gets their comeback ability and advantage when they don't need it. In most cases, a character designed with a comeback ability is simply a flawed concept. Hero is a character that can take a state of the game and flip it very easily with the right luck, of course. One side, he can kill opponents with crits and thwacks early. These technically are not for comebacks, but sure can act as such. When ahead, getting hit by these RNG moves could end the game in seconds. These have upsetted Smash players for a while now, making them feel cheated. Hero also has higher chances of getting zoom while close to the blast zone. This is obviously designed for comebacks. The problem players have with this is that there's no skill in RNG moves. No one can take account and nobody can plan for what's going to happen next. If the hero is in the lead, he might get a free recovery, a free insta-kill. Whereas pro players have adapted since week 1, it's much harder to land these, but it's not impossible to avoid.
Overall, there are characters whose comeback mechanics are balanced and are essential to their moveset, but others are very unfair to the opponent. The opponent can try as hard as they can to make a comeback, and they could be punished in the blink of an eye. Some comeback abilities are even too simple to obtain and can reward a player who doesn't deserve it. So are there any well-designed comeback mechanics besides those for characters who need it? An example of a well-designed comeback mechanic is Sephiroth's winged form. This isn't something that he gains over time, something that is charged during the game, or anything of that sort. His winged form is triggered if he takes enough damage, and becomes more frequent when he's in stock disadvantage. Although sometimes he can get his winged form in the middle of an even game, it happens much less frequently than Joker getting Arsene in advantage, Terry getting Go, Hero getting Zoom, any abilities of that sort. In conclusion, these abilities could be more balanced and fitting to the concept of a comeback mechanic, but usually they're not. Sephiroth's mechanic takes account of advantage and isn't too strong, so no one can be upset about it. Compared to Joker, whose Arsene dominates all of his opponents, whether Joker is at a disadvantage or not. With the addition of Sephiroth, we can see the Smash devs may be headed in the right direction. For competitive players, comeback mechanics are definitely something that can get in the way, but it's only another obstacle in the meta. These challenges add more thrill to the game as a whole, and as competitive play progresses, more ways will be found to overcome them.
And that's going to be it, guys. Remember, if you like this style of video, make sure to like the video. If you want to see more Smash videos from us, consider subscribing. We do what if videos, what if your favorite character was in Smash. We also do montages on the side. We do Smash analysis like this one. There's a playlist for everything we do. And yeah, that's going to be it. Have a good one. Have a good day. See you guys later.